Check this out. I tried, analysts. I really did. I tried my best. As you guys know, my mother passed away last week. Thank you all so much for all the well wishes and condolences and anecdotes that you guys dropped. That was a very difficult piece for me to put together. But also, I think that you guys probably noticed I wasn't in the comment section as much last week either, because every time I got in there, I just broke down and cried. So this has been a very difficult week. I tried to put together a piece on Ye because I got a lot to say about Ye these days. And I think that piece I did a couple of weeks ago holds up still. Check it out if you missed it. But instead, I think the ancestors on high and the God above are telling me right now to take a breath. So rather than skip the week entirely, I've decided to drop an episode from the All Out show with Rude Jude, where I do a breakdown on Shade 45. Check it out if you missed it. This episode is on the top 25 Southern rappers. Top 25 Southern rappers. I hope you enjoy it. But before I go, gotta shout out the analysts. Big shout out to Ruadri Kiersey, Rory Noon, David Eliakubi, Ruben Garcia, Chaco Kicks, my man Chaco Kicks, Christopher Hahn, Christian Morris Segura, Dave's Good, Ethan McNew the originator, Arun Neelakandan, Joshua Smith, Temitayo Odutola, Echo Guzman. Let's get long, y'all. Let's get long. Nick Montgomery, Gareth Croakey, my man Jeremy Borrego, Jonas Bori, Afolabi Martins always sounds dope. Andrew Blaubaum, David Goggins, James Gillespie, man. Me and James be talking on Twitter all the time. If you guys are on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. Alexander Fonstock, I'm gonna get that. You know, Alex, I shout you out all the time. I'm gonna get that one. Brian Boyle, Chaco Kicks again. Jake LaMotta, Ethan McNew, the originator again. What these analysts did is they donated to my Linktree, helping to forward this mission each week. Thank you all infinitely. Take a look at this episode, top 25 Southern rappers. Let me know who your favorite Southern rapper is. I'll be at my mother's funeral while you guys are watching this. My name is Justin Hunt. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow at The Company Man on everything. And as always, it's all happening.
Here's the breakdown with Justin Hunt.
That is straight Scarface cadence, flow, everything. I don't even remember that part growing up, but yeah, his Face's influence is everywhere, and it's in multiple places along Bad Boy history.
And but here's to your point. Sometimes like a rapper's cadence is like DOS effects or some shit. It almost makes where they're pigeonholed. So you're gonna hear that cadence first. People can like kind of pull from Face all day, and you don't even notice unless you looking. You know,
right?
They're not bumpsy. And I'm not knocking the DOS effects. I love that fucking album, but it's a very distinct thing that almost pigeonholes them and it makes them like sound like that time or something like that. So
right.
He's got a timeless flow.
Right.
Timeless.
All right. Number 2, Lil Wayne.
I mean, yeah, I can't really get mad at old boy. Like people have been arguing that Lil Wayne is the best rapper as well. You know, like so that comes from I can't clap on him. What do you think of that?
I can't get mad at it. Look, Wayne is either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to me. You know, as long as you're somewhere in there with Wayne, I'm good. And whether that's and if we're talking all MCs, he's easily top 10 to me. If someone said they were number 1, I might not agree, but I understand. You know what I'm saying?
And here's the other thing about Lil Wayne, man. Like, he's kind of post that. Like, I don't know if y'all remember, like the Source used to shit on the South. Nobody was lyrically good as far as they were concerned because these cats were rapping with a Southern accent or a bit, you know, slower or some shit. And Lil Wayne kind of kept his same sound and was able to get it, like, have people in New York fuck with him, and it ain't easy. There's only a few of them cats.
Not easy at all. And he stole a lot of songs from a lot of great rappers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of nods to Jay-Z and shit. You know,
right.
I think he ends one of the songs with the "Lucky Me" verse from Jay-Z's second album. And everything when I leave this earth, that shit.
Right. And he's a millennial too. So, you know, there's a whole generation that has known him since he was a kid. Like really Wayne's contemporaries are like Lil Bow Wow. You know what I'm saying? Lil Romeo. Like, you know, like Wayne he was a child superstar too. So I'm cool with that.
Like I'll be willing to say this. I bet a gang of rappers that are out right now were directly influenced by Lil Wayne more than Scarface. Because Face is older, you know what I mean? Like that's it's just how it is. It's the timing. It's not a knock on them. It's just like, but they're 14, 15. What do you think they listening to? Wayne.
Wayne. That's it. You know?
Contemporary. Half of them probably didn't even know he was like in the High Boys and shit.
It's possible. It's possible.
Bro, you would be surprised, man. You would be surprised talking to these motherfuckers. Who's next?
Number 3, T.I. Now I'm starting to, now I'm getting a little, okay, 3 though. Now, don't get me wrong. Tip is one of the greatest rappers of this generation, definitely of the century, right? And I didn't realize how many number one songs overall T.I. has. Like T.I. has at least 2, I think 3 songs that went overall number 1, which is super hard to do in rap, period. Scarface never did it, for example.
No.
I mean, it's crazy difficult. But I just don't, for some reason, there's this disconnect when it comes to Tip with me being at number 3 following Scarface and Lil Wayne. You know, like,
what do you think that is, man?
I think that with Tip, it's been so long since I've been moved by his music that maybe I'm a little clouded in the impact that he did have. But I really,
it's the what have you done for me lately? And then the other thing, I think the timing of this list, what's the last couple things he's done? Like Rush Stages, trying to do stand up, kind of whether you allow that to cloud your thing, you still are considering it, so it's affecting the way you look at it, like it or not.
Right.
But, like I agree with you. What you know about that, and even like Rubber Band Man, like I used to play that on loop when I was waiting for the bus in LA and shit.
Right. I mean, and then the Paper Trail album was great to me. It's probably had the highest replay value to me. Urban Legend was amazing. T.I. versus T.I.P. So he's got catalog. He's number 3. I'm just surprised to see him. It's not really who he's behind between Scarface, Lil Wayne. It's like who he's ahead of. That I'm kind of like,
here's the other thing too that you didn't mention, like he had the thing with Lil Flip, like and if you can come out on top in people's eyes, that's a plus for you,
Plus, it's true. It's true.
And it's got my birthday, so I'm gonna give him a vote. Libra season.
Word up.
That was one of those deals where if he didn't get mentioned, I wouldn't be pissed. But you just made a cogent argument why he could be mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, he's right there. I just don't always think of him being right there, and I think that's, and I think it's recency bias, because when I see him now, I see him, the reality show stuff, or the TV stuff, I see, this comedy stuff, I see the podcast stuff, and it's so far away from, I can't think of the last project he released where I was like, oh, okay. This is Tip right here. You know what I mean? So
yeah, bro. Yeah, real talk.
All right. Number 4.
Okay.
Pusha T. Pusha T. Now, no disrespect to Pusha T. He's got one of my favorite albums this year. But 2 things. 1, I never really think about him being a Southern artist, which is just me, right? He's from Virginia. I used to live in Chesapeake. I know Virginia's the South. I lived in Southern Virginia, so I get it. I just never think of him that way. And 2, it's really hard for, I only have one T.I., I only have one Pusha T solo project that I guess 1.5 that I really rock with. I love the one that came out this year. I like the one with Kanye a lot, but like he's always been so polarizing to me because he's been so narrow.
Right. Here's the other thing too. Like let's Clip's first album, like it's a classic. So he's got that, and his solo shit is crazy. But and I think we even have callers from that call up from Virginia, and I don't know if it's because it's close to DC and shit or what, but a lot of times they feel more East Coast to me. I don't know why, you know, like they shouldn't, but they do definitely have a more of an East Coast vibe than somebody from Alabama, say.
Right. It's I-95. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Richmond is the capital of the Confederacy, right? So it's definitely the South, but it is like the closest to not being the South of anybody in the South. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's like when people don't like, if you don't think about it, I feel like shit, fucking Miami has more of a Southern sound than Virginia shit that I've heard that's come out like majorly.
Right.
But it's another place where you don't consider it being the South because it's almost like a vacation spot that's been flooded with New Yorkers, Colombians, Cubans, Jewish cats and shit. So you don't look at it like it's the South, but yo, bro, like it's the South, bro. Don't get it twisted.
It's the South. Now, the other thing with Pusha T is the reason why I love this new album so much because he got rid of the two things I don't like about him. One, he was broader in his coke talk this time, so I appreciate the range. And two, he got rid of that ad lib. I couldn't stand his ad lib at all, and he doesn't do it on this new project at all. So
that's funny. You think someone was like, "Hey, bro, you should probably pump the brakes on that shit," or you think he got fucking tired of it? Like, man, I'm tired of. Just print that shit. I don't want to yell in the background, man. What was the ad lib? It never. I never considered it. What was the one that? What did he say to get on your nerves?
Ugh! It sounded like he was. In the throat, that phlegm in the throat. Oh God! Every time I wanted to turn the track off every time. You know what I mean?
Hey, be real. Like that didn't bother me, but like you listen to rap differently than I do. Like you know, you gotta listen. You listen to it like you probably had to listen to his album a gang of times.
I listen to all his albums a gang of time, whether I like them or not. You know what I mean? It's
yeah. I'm sure it accumulates. Like, all right, man, stop.
Right, but he does have two classics. I'll give him arguably three. You already mentioned. Lord willing, Hell Hath No Fury to me, second album with Clips. That to me is their best project. And I'll put this new one down. It's Almost Dry too, because it's a phenomenal body of work. So, you know, that's three classics, one of which is solo. He's from Virginia. I guess I could see him at number 4. I guess, looking at that. Now there's some big names we ain't got to yet that I can't see him, I definitely don't think he's better than these guys. But
all right,
coming up next, number 5, J. Cole. J. Cole. I'm interested.
It's so weird. I don't. When I hear him, I'm not like, man. I feel like some Southern rap, bro. But that shouldn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if it sounds Southern. It matters where you from, because I'm sure it affected him anyway. Right. So what do you say about J. Cole?
North Carolina is another one of those places like Virginia where you have so many people, transplants from the Northeast coming down I-95. Plus, North Carolina had all them colleges. You know what I mean?
That's another good point. Yeah,
that rocks with the accent. And he was in the military. So, I still think him as a Southern rapper. I think you got to put him in the top 5 from the South, period, just off of what he's done the past 10 years. And look, people have been, anyone who's been following me and my content over the years knows I'm never that impressed with J. Cole. He sounds like a regular rapper from the 90s to me. But his career, there's nothing regular about his career. And there's nothing regular about the impact. So that's my feeling, but I can see where he's top 5. I mean, the dude's got these 2 classics.
You know what? You bring up a really good point. And we often see this shit, man. A rapper will come out and some people our age will really flock to him because he sounds like someone from our time and it's reminiscent. Other people will be like, all right, man, I could go just listen to any other rapper from the 90s, that's decent. I don't really need that cat. And then the young cats that are fucking with him, they really don't know that shit. So when they hear it, they're like, oh damn, this dude is really spitting. Because it's a new sound to them.
Right.
And I'm on the same thing as you. Like I'm not knocking that dude at all, but I never feel the need to like listen to full albums by him, or just because I'm kind of used to that sound.
Right. Yeah. And the other thing with J. Cole I don't like is I feel like he's the cat who'll throw a Molotov cocktail and hide his hand. Right. Like it's always like every album that comes out, except for the last 2, which is they perform less than what we're used to, and I think this is a big reason why. But he'll always dry diss somebody, right? But make it seem like he's like coaching them or defending the culture or something. right? And
For real.
that's always how he starts his stuff. Like on the he was talking about white rappers on Forest Hills Drive, right? He was calling out Macklemore and Iggy Azalea, Eminem, and now that's got the interest open. The next time
Yeah.
he's calling out Kanye and Wale. Then he's calling out Lil Pump. You know, like he put a whole he put a whole song dedicated to Lil Pump on one album and did a whole hour-long sort of, you know, Ayana Fix My Lifestyle podcast around it. I mean, I always thought that was just like, I know you got to scream fire in the stadium and let people know that you out.
Yeah.
But like, I'm surprised you don't get called out for that more often.
Yeah, and some of that other shit, like dig deeper, like, yeah, people didn't his white mom raise his ass? Like he wasn't waking. He didn't go to school smelling like fried whiting. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
Right. As far as I know,
like you was listening to NPR and eating granola just like all those other cats that you shitting on, bro. Like you ain't that different.
So
you different. You ain't that different. Let's get it. Don't get it twisted.
All right. So I can say categorically right now, J. Cole would not be my top 5 Southern rapper nor rapper overall. He wouldn't be in my top 5, but I get it. Number 6, Rick Ross. Now, keep in mind now, we're at number 6. There's some really big people from the South that we haven't even heard yet.
Bro, and like real talk, that's why when you gave me the list, that's why I said I had a weird interview with him. Mm-hmm. But here's the deal, man. Like cats fuck with him though. Like let's be real, like cats fuck with him. Mm-hmm. I don't know, he's fine, but like top 10 Southern MCs, like really?
Yeah, and I feel like he makes the same album over and over again. Right now, to be fair, so does Scarface. And Scarface does it intentionally. He talks about how he makes the same album over because when you switch it up, that's when you fall off. Per Scarface. So Rick Ross is taking like a Scarface approach, but outside of Teflon Don and the Rich Forever mixtape, to me, I don't know, man. I mean, I know Port of Miami is the classic. Everyone wants to talk about it. I know it's a big album, but I don't really think he put all the dots together in terms of what he has to say and how he's going to say it until Teflon Don and the Rich Forever mixtape.
I remember like my homeboy Josh, shout out to Josh. He picked me up with this gypsy dope dealer in LA. And we was driving around. I'm in the back seat, and he just kept that shit banging non-fucking stop. So, cats might question this gangster, but
right,
I know a lot of cats that bang this shit. They don't give a fuck, how official he is or any of that. Like, I don't care. Just say what we want to hear.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said for motivation music. Like any album that makes you want to get up, go outside, and go get it. You know what I mean? That's how people are living anyway. So if you could be the soundtrack to that type of lifestyle, that's a whole lot of people.
Yeah, that's why I like the Detroit shit that a lot of people kind of like are getting their sound from, but just the shit before it really went national. Like that Detroit shit was all fucking, it was like hood Tony Robbins shit.
Right.
Go get up, go get it. Don't put your hand out. Nobody owe you shit. Shout out to Payroll on that one, but like everybody was like that. It was like the go get it shit. Like fuck yeah, I'm with it. Like all I did was bump Peasy on my book tour because it's that, to your point, it's that go get it shit.
Yeah, Peasy's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's go a little quicker so we can
we'll go. All right. So 7 and 8.
You gotta say who they're missing too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because a bunch of people due to the factors putting in people like Rick Ross.
Right. Right. And correctly identifying that Pusha T is from the South, but that just added someone else to the list. 7 is Big Boy, 8 is Future.
I'm gonna be real, man. When Future came out, I was just like, all right, man, like I wasn't really into him that much, but I was like, he'll disappear. I'm good. Because 90% of the cats did, but he stuck around. So there's something, he's doing something right,
Look, if you can't tell, nobody in the world anymore can tell me that Future isn't arguably the greatest rapper of all time. I don't think he is, but if you just look at what Future has done in his career,
right? He did some rock stuff that didn't go over terrible with the Future Hendrix stuff. He's owned the strip clubs. He's been one of the top performing artists on every year he's dropped. He's collabed with Drake and didn't lose to, you know, Drake's pop stuff. I feel like Drake took more from Future than Future took from Drake on that. You know what I mean? Like Future is accomplished.
Kind of a fucking walking sponge. Let's be real, man.
Still, I mean, look, there's not everybody who hangs around with Drake comes away clean. I mean, regardless of what it is,
true.
Not everybody survives that.
That's a hot take, Just, and I'm letting you have this hot take. But you come on, bro. You even know that shit. Like, I get the argument, but like, come on, bro. You really think that?
I think I definitely. Well, both points, the Drake point and the Future point. Like, I just got a press release today telling me Future has sold 95 million records.
Don't care though, because selling records now is different than selling records where I have to work 3 hours at McDonald's. That's 3 hours of my time. I got to take a trip over to some spot, and then I have to physically buy some shit. They count fucking just a random stream being a fucking sale. It's just there's less of an investment on time and money, so I just take it less seriously.
Well, I think we have to look at everything as apples to apples, right? You know, it's definitely not like Michael Jackson selling 95 million records. Definitely not that. But it's definitely.
But like, there's got to be an equation. There's got to be an equation we come up with. All right, man. How much is it actually costing you, and how much time does it actually take you? And start doing some division and be like, all right, he sold 10 million records.
That's incredible too. Let's say it's 10 million. I'll go with yours. Even if it was 5 million.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Future,
like, come on, y'all. Like,
crazy
doing that shit. You cheapening your argument for people that think.
Well, I think for people who have the experience of what it was like to have to go someplace to get stuff, you know what I mean? I mean, you just did a segment on millennials and Generation Z. You know, like they're definitely choosing. I mean, 95 million is an extreme amount for anybody. You know what I mean? Like, that's an extreme amount of success. And he's definitely, all I hear about is Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake, but Future hanging out right there with him. Every time they drop, he drop, and every time
that's what that was my point. Just like, man, this dude, like I said, he could have been a flash in the pan, like 1,000 other rappers we heard, but he just kept coming back, dog. Like, whether you like it or not, he understands what's hitting, and he keeps changing and staying true to himself, I guess, because you said he don't be switching up. I'll take your word for it. Yep. And then Big Boy, Big Boy's a shit.
Big Boy shit, he's 7. So 7
this
Big
is the
Boy.
Interesting thing I saw about this dude's list. He put Big Boy in front of fucking Dre, and he put MJG in front of 8 Ball.
Right.
And like legit, you can make an argument for both. We did a thing like it was like the most fucking overlooked MCs, and Big Boy and MJG was on there because I fucking love their verses. But you know who I was like in the discussions, they never get talked up. Never. So it's kind of cool that this dude kind of like maybe he isn't from that time or a contrarian or some shit or really listens. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah, and I like how I think it's interesting too. He had Big Boy, Future, and Andre like in a row. So 10 is Andre. And the thing about that is they're all Dungeon family. You know what I mean? And I think that's also a big part of Future's success and his perspective. It's coming up in the Dungeon family. But like the Dungeon family, that whole crew, rounds out the top 10 like in an unexpected order to me.
Is CeeLo on there at all, or Dungeon families?
CeeLo's 15.
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Run through the rest just so people can get an idea of who he put on, so we could talk about who he didn't put on that might be interesting to think of.
All right, number 10.
Yeah,
is Project Pat. Andre was number 9. Project Pat's 10. Pimp C,
that motherfucker.
Yeah. Pimp C is 11. MJ
and a great producer too. Like he's one of the top producer rappers. Him and Q-Tip and off the top of my head. All right.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
12, MJG.
Fuck with him, bro. He's some of my favorite verses are his.
13, 8 Ball.
Okay.
14, Bun B. So he's got Pimp C ahead of Bun B too.
Bun can spit.
Bun B was always my
gonna be
favorite.
coin flips. I didn't know where he was gonna go, whether it was gonna be Bun B or Pimp C first. And like you said, there could be an argument for either.
15 CeeLo.
Okay.
16 Juvenile.
I fuck with Juvenile. Yeah, I fuck with Juve. He like what a lot of people don't think about. Like, he really kind of put that like bounce shit on a national thing when he came out.
Mm.
You know, they had UNLV and all, like they had cats from down there, but he really kind of like like a Rap City or some shit.
Right, 100%.
Like just kind of kicked the door down for those cats.
Yeah, he was the one. I mean, he was, I don't want to say pre-Master P, but he was big away from Cash Money and Master P, what they were doing. Like he was already an artist on his own, moving culture in New Orleans. 400 Degrees is still one of my favorite albums of all time.
Oh, that album. Fuck, that album's nuts, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like it's so common now for cats to hear that, but that was a real different sound for the East Coast and shit like that. That high song, like he really brought his flavor and made people fuck with it, which I really appreciate about his ass.
Yeah, 100%. Like even in South Carolina, when that joint dropped, it was something left of what we were used to at that point in time too.
Oh yeah, bro.
Phenomenal album. 17 Mystical.
You know what? I wrote that shit down because I'm a fan of Mystical, man. His first album is awesome to me. And then he was able to come back and do the shit with Pharrell years later.
Right. 18 Ludacris.
He's another one, man. That guy's got like bars and really fucking good. I'm just kind of curious, like, was he like kind of so popular that he's become overlooked for a lot of cats? Or
I think he made music that, well, one, I don't think he told a lot of stories. Right, the one album where he
he's a punchline dude. You're right.
He's a punchline dude. And then the one album where he talks about real stuff happening in the world or whatever, Runaway Love or whatever. That album that's the only, for a long time. I think that's changed now, but for a long time that was the only Southern album to win best rap album at the Grammy. Not to put too much credit on the Grammys. I'm saying that's the album he got broader recognition for. Right. And so everything else was real punchliney. And so when you make that kind of music, it doesn't necessarily travel as well into the future.
You're right. Totally. But yeah, that's his first album, and like he's got consistent, really listenable albums. Like you're not skipping a ton of tracks on a lot of his albums.
Exactly. Right. His
first couple, especially for me. Maybe it's just because I'm young. That was when I was like driving around and shit a lot.
Right. And his videos were incredible.
Yeah, and he's like, let's be real. Out of these cats, I think because he came from like the radio shit, he just has a very professional level at times. Yeah, it's been a pain in the ass for me to interview sometimes because he's in a weird spot. Sure, but he just kind of gets it. You know what I mean? He shows up on time. I think it was Ja Rule that fucked up with the Fast and the Furious, and he just stepped right in.
That is right. I forgot about
like,
that.
He just understood, like he got it. He just got it. Now that guy's like, I know Ja Rule sitting there fucking just mad as hell every time he's like, damn, they did part 20. Like, bro, that's money in the bank.
Right. Right. Who's mad? Who's more upset? Ja Rule or Terrence Howard for turning down the Marvel money? God.
Oh, I was thinking about that the other day, man. I'm like, shit, this fucking dude going to war. There's a universe he's missed out on. All right,
universe. All right, 19 is Gucci Mane.
All right, bet that. Yeah, I can see that. Like, shit. I feel like Gucci and Boosie, kind of like the younger cats really fuck with them, but they're not like crazy big crossover shit. So a lot of times they get looked over.
I think Gucci gets more credit for being, an overseer or, a linchpin or bringing people together than anything else. Because I always because Gucci really did put on so many artists.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where my appreciation for him really lives mainly. Right. If we took away him being an advocate for so many dope artists, I'm not sure. I can't tell you. Can't tell you whether or not I'd be a Gucci fan. Gucci Mane fan.
To be fair, yeah, and like, is Yo Gotti on that list? I'll put Yo Gotti ahead of Gucci. You know,
I would too. And no, Yo Gotti is not. Yo Gotti is not on this list.
Yeah. And like that's kind of like a timely contemporary. Is that fair to say? Like they were out around the same time. I mean, they've been out, but like they were out at the same time, so you could
right
both of them.
Right, and then I feel like the Gucci model is out there. So you're right about that. Nevertheless, number 20, Currency. Happy to see him in the top 25.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he's earned it in a consistency level. No breakout tracks though. Really, no breakout tracks. No breakout albums. Just solid consistency. Always getting better with his pen. Kind of under the radar and getting paid like crazy and hanging out with everybody who everybody loves.
And like, let's be real. That's kind of like if you look at cats. That's a long game shit. Like UGK, they had some giant monsters, and 40 Space, like they just keep going. They stay consistent.
Yeah.
The people that are really fucking with them really fuck with that shit. So like, you can eat.
You can eat. 21, Big Crit.
Okay. Crit's dope, man. I feel like he was getting a ton of love and then they just forgot about him. Does that mean he was like for a couple years, he was the dude of the hour, and then now people don't mention him that much.
He did two things in my opinion. One, he stopped being as consistent, and two, he sold the wrong mixtape because he was one of those mixtape era artists. Yeah. And so there was like the free projects were coming out, but everyone had to know exactly which one they're going to turn into an album. And I think if I might have these transposed, I don't have it in front of me, but Crit Was Here was the one, right? And then, but they gave that one away. And then the next one I think was, it's not Finding Forever, it's Crit Forever or something like that. Maybe I got them backwards, maybe I got them transposed. But whatever it was, the album that hit was the free album. Right. The next album didn't hit like that. And then that was a couple years within the system to get the next one out. And then, things evolve. But Chris, he's talented.
To be fair, though, a lot of times, like, the free album shit, they can't fucking clear samples. And, like, some of the best songs are free because they can't clear the fucking samples.
Right. Well, I mean, there's been a lot of revisionist strategy, I would say, because they could have worked harder on that or replayed the samples or something. Yeah. But that was the one.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. You're right. But I don't know if they knew it was gonna hit like that to invest in it like that.
Right.
So that might be one of the cases. I don't fucking know. All right, what's the last couple ones?
All right, 23, 24, 25. 23 is Quavo from Migos. 24 is Killer Mike. Way too low in my opinion, by the way. We'll keep that. We'll maybe address that with the callers. And 25, he initially wrote Jeezy, then scratched it out, and then put Pastor Troy.
One, I think that was I think he planned that. real talk. That was a shot, bro. Like, let's not get like that as a shot. And Jeezy's weird, bro. Like, not weird, and Jeezy's a monster, man. Like, Jeezy could come to Detroit and sell that shit out right now and for the next couple years. Like, cats just fuck with him the long way. And then Pastor Troy is such a fucking specific sound for cats down south. And when I play him up here, I feel like he's been kind of forgotten. That cats really appreciate it,
Right. Right. Exactly. I mean, look, I'll be honest. I've never been the biggest Jeezy fan. Okay. I like his music when I'm out. I like when I'm around people. It's not stuff that I listen to. I've never been impressed by how he can rap. And I feel like all his best raps are like, Chris Rock jokes or something like that,
Yeah, and like, let's be real, you're not super into fucking selling coke, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm not amazed.
Yeah, and like, to be fair, I think that's a big knock on a lot of artists. It's like, yeah, it's dope. And then it's like, oh, your 45th song about tell me one more word for Coke. You know what I mean? I feel like they're making up new words for Coke because they just need to make more songs. You know, I'm like, all right, man, I get it. So I hear you on that.
Is there anybody that you feel like should be there that's not listed?
Devin the Dude, bro.
100%.
Devin the Dude. Nope, Juicy or nobody from 3-6 got any love, right? Paul or Juicy J.
Shout out to DJ Busy. DJ Busy's listening. He just texted me. He said, "Where's Juicy J?" I'm like, I was thinking the same thing. Nobody.
That was. And the wild shit is that he put Pat on there and didn't put Juicy J. And I always feel like Pat's the one that gets snubbed. So that was a weird little switch. Real talk, bro. Like, if they put for just what a cat did for rap, he ain't rap, but like Luke, man, like this motherfucker is a very like I don't know other rappers that went to the Supreme Court and won.
Yeah, right.
Like a lot of these, you not eating like this unless Luke is there.
Right.
Even with the marketing shit, he was one of the guys that got them to start putting that parental advisory. And that, man, come on, bro, you out there buying a tape? It's all your money. If I see parental advisory and I don't, guess which one I'm getting?
Right,
bro. Like he can't. Like he was indirectly in charge of a crazy marketing scheme.
Oh.
And like I fucking love Poison Clan. So, JT could have like he's had enough fucking like good ass songs in Poison Clan and the solo career, but I don't expect people to fucking fuck with him like that because he's not like the lyrical miracle guy. And Zero, man, Zero's another one.
Yo, there's so many people in my audience, man. Shout out to anybody who follows the company, man, on YouTube. All they want is a Zero breakdown. And so I've been studying up on Zero because I wasn't always following him. Zero is a monster.
Yes.
A monster.
Yes.
It's disgusting how dope he is.
And like it's a gift and the curse of Texas. The Bay has the same thing. And yo, like I got one more person, but like yo, bro, you can eat in Texas or like some of these regions forever, make fucking monster hits and live in a nice ass house. And we never heard of you somewhere else, you know? Like that's the gift and the curse. And I think Zero kind of falls into that. You got to be very attentive. Also, you know what, man? Big Mike, dog. Like I fucking love like some of my favorite shit from me growing up. I love the Convicts. The Ghetto Boys with Big Mike on that is one of my favorite Ghetto Boys albums. And then Big Mike's first album is another favorite, and then the critics like the second one better. So like I get it. I understand why he's not there, but just personal preference. I always love that motherfucker, bro.
Word up.
I just did.
Word up.
You got anybody that you like before we go to the phone lines?
I got two that I don't think are quite there yet, but will be there, and I love them. One is DaBaby out of Charlotte. People hate on me for that. That dude is incredible. He can really rap. He also knows how to really sell records. And I think once he figures out the balance, he'll be there. But he can really rap. DaBaby.
Yeah.
And two, Moneybagg Yo. That's my dude, man. I love Moneybagg Yo. He's got the best voice to me right now. He does old school stuff, new school stuff, however he needs to come, and he's impactful on the track. He's funny as hell. He got like the best punchlines to me, and he's got one of the best teams. So I expect him to be in this top 25 in the next. Yeah, I put them there now. There's a couple cats I take out, but
I got one other person that I just from everything he's done, man, and I get it. Like everybody's got a different point system, but like, man, really. You're not gonna put Master P on there?
Thank you. Yeah.
Really? Right. Nobody from like you got? What do they got? Anybody from No Limit? Like really?
Just mystical.
Those dudes ran the motherfucking late '90s into the 2000s.
Yeah, they got Mystical on here, and like the thing with P though, it's like when I hear G,
Mystical didn't start off on that shit. He was on his own thing, and they picked him up on the back end, dog.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. What were you going to say? Sorry, go ahead.
When I see Jeezy, especially Jeezy and Gucci Mane, I feel like they borrowed the most from that Master P formula because their ad libs were super prominent. Like their ad libs were like a half bar, a whole bar sometimes on their tracks. And Master P's the first one out that make him say was so ubiquitous throughout all of the stuff he ever put out. And I think about that very similarly when I think about Jeezy, when I think about early Gucci especially.
Yeah, and like looks like a lot of the hip hop snobs, they kind of like they came after him back in the day. They banged on his ass, but time has proven that like cats, like you said, borrowed from his sound, and like it or not, he had all of New York banging about it. You know, like cats was going ham over the whole country, and he wasn't a one hit dude. He's got a catalog, and his business shit is crazy. Like he's that dude, man. All right, so that's what we got. Who ask the homie who any other people that we forgot.
Let me see.
And let's go
DJ
to
Busy.
What's that?
Yet? Oh no, keep going, my bad. Keep going.
Oh yeah. 888-742-3345. What do you think of that list? Who do you think should get the boot? Who do you think they need to keep on or push further up the line?
Got Sean in Dallas.
Sean, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying, J. Cole's a fucking legend. Don't y'all ever discredit that man like that. He's reading you at the top 5. What the hell is wrong with y'all, man? Like, are y'all crazy? He's in a small market. I'm 45. It don't matter how old I am.
Well, I just want to know if you have
a baby too.
Look, bro, I just want to know if you grew up listening to the same shit I did. You did. So therefore,
yeah, of course,
I'm giving you more of a fucking chance.
Bro. Yeah, let's go.
No, go ahead. Go on, listen. I'm listening.
Well, how y'all discredit him like that, though? Y'all talk so bad about him on that list, bro.
He look, like I said, Justin has an opinion on him. I really don't, because I don't give a fuck one way or another. I never listened to nothing where I want to listen to a bunch more. But yeah, he can spit, bro. Like I ain't knocking him. I'm just
that's what rap is about: spitting bars, metaphors. What else is it about?
And let me discredit your argument a little bit. Like talk about small market. Right. He had a crazy push. Like he was on. You didn't know. I don't know if you know this, but like this dude was on NPR fucking before he even blew up. Trust, they've been pushing this dude way more than you think. Way more.
Right.
How many rappers getting on NPR talking about talking about shit before they even got a fucking hit, man? So I hear you, small market, but he had a big push, bro.
Yeah, I just had to say that though, man. Give him more credit, man. He been in the game 15 years. He's still relevant. And not have Jeezy on that list was crazy. Not to have Jeezy on that list was crazy. He took over the strip clubs. Come on, man.
Look, I think maybe like when I said old heads hear that shit and fuck with him, because like you really appreciate spitting. Like that's
absolutely.
Maybe I didn't say it right, but like you appreciate spitting. I do too, but I can just look at other cats that do that. I don't hear anything like brand new from this dude. Please believe it. I don't knock his bars because I don't know his bars well enough. Cats from down south get preferential treatment.
Right.
Like he's from Dallas. I listen all fucking day. Yo, and here's that deal. Just one other thing. It's some of these rappers are kind of like, look, DOC's from Dallas. This motherfucker Ghost wrote on Dre, NWA, had his own album, was a fucking classic. He just, he's a Cali dude. He's repping Cali. So like we can make that argument that he's a fucking should be on that list.
Great point.
Who from down south is there?
Got Tony in Atlanta.
Tony in Atlanta. Go ahead, bro.
Yo, Andre 3000 should have been number 1.
I mean, a legitimate argument, and the thing is, this is like, come on, bro. Like, I don't know any hip hop list that doesn't have, Outkast album in the top 10 or 5. So based on that, like, I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad. He can spit.
And here's like, one thing.
What's that?
Oh, like a day in the life of Andre Benjamin on Speaker Box The Love Below. Like that song right there proves everything.
That was a question I had for y'all. Like, is it harder to be a solo rapper? Because you have to carry more weight, especially back in the day before you could have a fucking guest rapper on every goddamn thing. Should they get extra credit for that? I don't know. Just something you should think about. What do you think on that one, Jess?
I think it's harder to stand alone
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think you have more creative freedom. And
It's
in
like
the case of
yeah,
but in the case of Outkast, I think it's like actually worked really well, right? Because as Andre was moving into, you know, Black righteous space and the outer limits of the universe,
right.
Big Boy was kept it grounded, so you could still, you know,
Yeah.
you could still interact with what's happening and not, you know, just be.
There was a really good combo. Like back in the day, man. Like, you know, like how do I say, like dope dealers and tough guys, they would listen to like they didn't have a bunch of different shit to pick from. Like I know some killers that was just banging Tribe Called Quest and Daylight, you know, like they didn't, you know, you just listen to everything.
Right.
But that kind of got more separated as rap got more popular. And I think, like you said, Outkast was one of those groups where like he stayed rooted and Dre went nuts, and it allowed everybody to comfortably listen to them.
Yeah, and it was the FCC Act of 1995 or 96 where they allowed consolidation on the radio and with the labels. So you had.
What does that mean?
It means that you had less companies that had more control of the airwaves. So getting onto the airwaves or getting an album out was more difficult. And certain things were not prioritized anymore following the success of things like The Chronic or success of things like, you know, Bad Boy, what they were doing. It was very difficult to get the same looks that Tribe got if you were on Rockets based on that act, because there was less options.
Yeah, it was, I think Clinton did that. Really kind of fucked up regional sound for cats, bro.
100%.
Like regional sounds really suffered on that one. Like, I don't know if MC Breed would have blown up everywhere, you know, because he started from Flint and then just wasn't a major label and just blew up. Yeah. Who else you got from down south?
Chewy in Houston.
Chewy, go ahead, bro.
I'm the realest nigga in it. You already know. Got Trapper of the Year 4 times in a row. Come on, Justin. Why y'all hating on Young Jeezy like that? I don't understand it. I mean, Jude said it. Jude said you could go to any hood. Like, Jude, I'm from the Bay, but I'm down here in Mo City, so you know the South and the Bay really connects.
Yeah.
But come on, Jeezy, any hood, you liable to get shot up, and then he could go on TV and play that role too. Like, I just don't get it. And he did a song with Jay-Z, and when Bun B and Pimp C did a song with Jay-Z, Big Pimpin', it was like the biggest thing ever. But he does a song with Jay-Z, go crazy, and we put him that far down the list. Come on, my nigga.
And then he's just not as good of a rapper. He raps worse than Bun B and Pimp C.
Nah, come on, bro. We got to put him higher.
You have that debate, Justin. You keep shitting on cats, and I'm getting yelled at for it.
Dude, you know better. You know better. But
I'm not opinionated too. Like, let's be real. I just know what I like. I know what works, and Jeezy does work.
It does work. It works.
You're a Libra, Jude. You're opinionated. You're opinionated. But look,
true that.
Let me ask y'all something. Let me give you two, and I'm gonna jump off. What am I supposed to think about Ludacris's career? Am I supposed to just think he's Fast and Furious and Karma? And then what's up with 21 Savage? We're not putting him in Atlanta no more? Lil Baby.
21 Savage, I already told you, I got, like, he's just, there's a certain shit, man. And when I saw him holding that purse, I couldn't even. Like, come on, bro. Like half a rap ran up in that lady, and you holding her purse, man. Like, come on, dog. Like, it's hard for me. That's all. I'm not questioning this gangster. I'm sure he's a fucking savage, as 21 says, but like, there's just certain things I value, and walking around holding some stripper's purse at a slut walk ain't the deal to me.
So just Ludacris is only Karma and Fast and Furious. We're not putting him on the list no more.
He's on the list. I think it should be higher on the list, to be honest with you. You know, but I'll say this about 21 Savage. I love 21 Savage. I love where he's at right now. To me, he's my favorite international artist, like by far.
Okay, there you go. A ton of people are calling up. We're gonna go a little longer because of this. John, let's fuck the top of the hour break, and we'll just go into this, and I'll from this to news. Who we got?
Got Mark, St. Petersburg, Florida.
All right, Florida, go ahead.
Got a red Florida, so I'm gonna throw Trick Daddy out there. I'm 37 years old almost, and I gotta say that he really spoke to a lot of cats my age. Who's down in the trenches, 10 toes down, and he doesn't have an extensive catalog, but his earlier works, were amazing. He put people on himself. You know, Trina comes to mind, obviously. Yep. But y'all can't tell me that when y'all in a club or a party or something, and y'all don't hear anybody want to motherfucking die, and y'all hear that drop, you know who that is. You know what that's all about.
Yeah, so, I'm gonna co-sign this one because I actually, when I was writing shit down, he came to mind. And I just forgot to finish it. But like you said, and I don't know. Like, this is another. I don't know if people can appreciate this shit, but this was like the late '90s, and it like nobody was really checking for Florida, and he was able to have a sound that seems like it was true to his area that crossed over, and that was that In the Wind shit. Like him and CeeLo killed that. He didn't get he held his own on that track. He was really came on the scene
talking about you don't know now. Now who was saying that, right? Like,
Come on,
what is
bro.
that?
Yeah.
What is that? You don't know that, right?
he's got catchphrases, man. That's got to count for something. You know what I mean? Like, yo, bro.
Right.
Like, you're totally shout out to Trick Daddy.
The cultural impact, the instrumentals in there with the horns, you know, the band. He just brought down that flavor, you know, that we got down here in Florida to everybody nationally. You know, so I really respect him for that, him putting everybody on game like that to what we experienced down here. And he really started a movement, you know?
And here's a wild shit. I think he might have gotten. He just he was not savvy enough. Like the fact that he was trying to get Trick Jump for having his name. Like, I get it, but that's some real that's some real hood shit. And I met old boy when I was doing Jenny Jones because Jenny would bring people on, and he could not give a fuck. Not that he needed to, but it was just like, yo, dude, if this is how you're acting with everybody, they might not be inclined to push you a lot on the air. And like,
which is more interesting because the older he got in his career, he started going more towards that business side, right? So it's kind of like it flipped a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, and I wasn't in charge of shit, but like I was just like, okay, this is okay, all right. I wasn't mad, but I was like, I don't know if that's gonna work for him. With everybody, but that's just me. How do you feel about Trick Daddy, Just?
I agree with everything said, man. Plus, my dad loves Trick Daddy. My dad doesn't even keep up with rap like that, but he loves Trick Daddy. And also,
say that. Yeah. My ex-girlfriend's mom used to bang In the Wind. You know, and she was, she was mom.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. Keep going, man.
And I think Trina has a good argument to be on this list. To be honest with you, especially there's no women on this list at all. But Trina, when I think of Trick, I think of Trina. Yeah, I think about them as like a Bonnie and Clyde.
Either, but what's that?
Well, but I think of Trick and Trina as like a Bonnie and Clyde. You know what I mean?
Yeah, real talk. And
you know what I'm saying? Right. And I just don't know who's writing whose raps. I can't remember who's writing whose raps when it comes to that. But like,
I'm gonna guess the dude is just based on history, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm fucking wrong. Who is next?
Let's go with Big Maine in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Shreveport.
Man, what's happening? How y'all not gonna have Ludacris above T.I. when he destroyed T.I.?
That's what I forgot all about that shit.
Mm-hmm. To be real with you, no competition. Yeah. It was not no competition. I don't understand that. Like, are we going by bars or like what we going out for?
Just put everything together.
Keep going. I'm listening. I'm not that.
Another one. Andre should have been higher. I feel like Andre should have been like at least top 5, and Bun B.
Yeah, and Bun B was one of those guys where like, yo, man. Actually, both Pimp and Bun, they was able to do their thing solo as well. You know, like
Bun put Houston on the map, letting them know that hey, it's cats down here that can really go, really can spit. I feel like he took care of Jay-Z on Big Pimpin'. Like, let's be honest.
Bro, yeah, like, and look, man, I like to this day, just this weekend, I was banging Pocket Full of Stones getting ready, man. I fucking love that shit still.
The dude is crazy with that pen, man.
And he's a good dude too. I guess that doesn't matter, but yeah, he's fucking, Bun. Here's my thing. I ain't gonna quibble over where somebody is on the list. If they just make the list, you know, some people will like, all right, should clearly be ahead of others. You want Ludacris in front of T.I.? Okay, fine. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, they're both on the list, you know. What You got anything to say on that or no?
I definitely take a T.I. over Ludacris, though. T.I. got a better catalog. Okay. No disrespect, but he's got a better catalog. He's got more range as a rapper. Now, I tend to enjoy, the way Ludacris raps. But if I'm on a road trip, I'd rather take T.I.'s catalog with me than Ludacris' catalog because I'm basically listening to the same raps for 4 hours.
Use a hole.
Amazing.
Use a hole. I do like his. Speaking on that Jenny Jones shit, I did used to listen to fucking Luda before that shit popped. It was hype. Him and Ghost and the Stooges. Who else?
Got K in Nashville.
Nashville, go ahead, bro.
Yo, what up? Yo, man, I feel like y'all forgot Young Dolph, man.
Young Dolph. I'm old, so I don't know, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, he actually just died. Unfortunately, but yo,
I'm gonna defer to Just. How many albums does he have? Just out of curiosity.
He's got a ton of projects.
That's a good question.
Does he?
Okay.
He's got
a ton of mixtapes.
Yeah, he's got a ton
I just wanted to make sure like he had enough shit out there for someone to weigh in, and that they're not calling up because he got killed. Because we were really bad at that in the 90s and the 2000s, like taking a rapper that wouldn't be top 10 and then putting them on the wall next to Jam Master Jay. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure that that's a legit thing. What's your take on that, Young Dolph? Just
he's got a movement. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He, in my opinion, him and Gotti, the ones who have Memphis where they are right now in this new era. You know, not overlooking anybody before it, it's them too. Right. I'm not particularly a fan of his style, right?
Okay.
I'm just not. But I worked at Empire. We had Dolph on the label, and so I'm very familiar with his music. And if we're putting people who have impact in there in this conversation, Dolph definitely deserves it, in my opinion, on that note. But if you're going to ask me if I'm a Dolph fan, and would Dolph make my top 25? No, he would not make my top 25. No disrespect, but I understand why I could. If I saw him on this list, I would get it. I'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
And like, in case you guys aren't this, we don't even know who fucking made the list. Just the Shade Room posted that shit. So this person might have been trolling, legit or whatever. But I still him crossing off Jeezy. He knew, man. Come on, bro. He typed that shit, or he ain't type it out. He fucking wrote that shit out, man. He did that. I don't know what Jeezy did to him. Did he fuck his girl? I don't fucking know, but that was some personal shit, man. Personal. John, how much time we got?
We're getting there.
All right, just tell me how many more, and then we'll do that and then duck out.
All right, a couple more.
Just you always get the phone lines blown up, bro.
It's good. These are good. I like talking about rap.
That he does, and thank God Just is here because all I can talk about is pussy. Let's go. Who's next?
O'Shea in Dallas.
Dallas is back. O'Shea, go ahead.
Yo, it is Devin the Dude from Houston is not even on the list, and he should be replacing Rick Ross because Rick Ross CB4'd his whole career. He was never hard. He was a correctional officer that stole everything from the prisoners that he was a correctional officer for.
Really? I didn't know that.
And everybody's still from Devin the Dude. And Devin the Dude was on Chronic 2001. I Just Want to Fuck You. That was his beat. And everybody in the South knows that is his beat.
Yeah, like he collaborated with De La too. Look, and Devin the Dude has a very distinct kind of laid back sound that I feel like a lot of people were influenced by, even if they don't realize it. The the Boo Boo and shit, and Baby Patch. I love the Briar Patch too. Like that shit, I fuck with Devin the Dude, man. But he's one, like I remember my ex, I would play Devin the Dude and she would just get mad at me. She'd be like, oh, what is this? And then she put on Sublime and I'm like, what is this fucking trash, bro? Like, so we was just battle. It wasn't gonna work out. So he has a very distinct sound, for sure.
Yeah.
Who's that, Jonathan? Or what was that just?
100% agree, man. Devin the Dude. And he's a great producer too. He should definitely be on there.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's that guy.
Got Jay in Vegas.
Vegas out in this bitch.
Yeah, Vegas, man. Yo, so voice consistency, I would have to say Slim Thug. You got to put him on somewhere, man.
All right, yeah. I forgot about Slim Thug.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, man. I entered the show around number 5. Is Wayne on that motherfucker?
Yeah, number 2.
Like 2.
Okay, thank God. All right, man. Maybe even smack T-Pain on there. I don't know. Why not?
That's interesting. Fucking all right. That's Southwest, John. He ain't from the South, bro. Stop that. Do I need to show you the fucking? What's that? All right, so what? In case you're just tuning in, the dude who we do not know wrote Scarface number 1, Lil Wayne number 2, T.I.'s number 3, Pusha T's number 4, J. Cole's number 5. Look, man. I just re-looked at this. I didn't know where J. Cole was at. I would not have him number 5. I don't care. Even talking to old boy from Dallas, he's just not doing it for me like that, especially compared to all these people he's in front of.
Yeah, he's in front of like he's in front of like, you know what I'm saying, the 1996 Chicago Bulls over here, you know what I mean? He's in front of
the two people I'm 100% on is Face and Lil Wayne. And I think there's a strong argument for everybody from Andre 3000, Bun, or like a lot of these cats you could argue for the top 5.
Yeah, and I need Killer Mike. Killer Mike's in my top 10. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh yeah.
Killer Mike is not 24. Okay.
Look, man,
his name is Killer Mike.
In there. What's that?
His name is Killer Mike. He kills microphones, literally. Okay, he's top 10. He's from Andre.
Well, like he's got that longevity too. Like he's stuck around and been able to reinvent himself. So there's something to be said for that. Who's next?
B in Dallas.
You got any Kentucky or fucking? You keep going to. You got just like a Dallas hotline? Is the third person from Dallas we talked to?
That's as south as I can get. I mean, I can go to Louisiana.
No one's calling?
No.
Louisiana.
Why are you talking? Like, why is there only one Southern?
All right.
All right, go ahead, man. Just find out where they're from before you even talk to them.
I hear you. All right. Let's go with Errol in Louisiana.
Errol.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, bro.
So, I'm like, oh boy, I kind of hopped in the middle of it, but
right.
What y'all think about BG, man? Like BG dropped certified classics, man. This dude got fucking bling bling in a dictionary, bro. Like,
do you think
he was carrying that cat BG?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, do you think he kind of got overlooked because Wayne went on and did his shit, and then Juvenile was the one that kind of kicked it off with 400 Degrees? Do you think BG got lost in the mix?
Not in Louisiana, maybe nationwide he did, but
that's what I meant. Like
to this day, like we still banging, we still you want to ride, do some shit, whatever, put on some BG.
I fucked with. I used to. If you listen to the Pill Mixes, you'll hear me playing that shit. So I'm there with you, but he doesn't really get discussed. And the only time they was really talking about him was him and Baby was beefing.
Yeah, but shit, even
I'm
when
talking about nationally, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he started his own, even after the beef with Baby and stuff, he kind of fell off and came back. Like he still was hot, But I get it. And then
no, that's what I was saying. Like I'm all for him being on that list. Like that's a great ad. Just you're like around all the people that write shit.
Yeah.
The writing ass.
I tell you this, I love BG, and I think he should be in the top 25. I mean, from his influence, I do feel like he carried that first Cash Money tape to me too, more than Juvie. I rarely say it about Juvie. I think BG carried that tape. But I think what happened was the same thing that happened with Cash Money with all of those cats. All those cats fell out with over contract issues. You know what I mean? So really, his last. I mean, in 2004, he's putting out an album. What's it called? Life After Cash Money in 2004.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he really only had like 6 years of Cash Money wave to ride. I think that's why we don't hear more of him. And then he went to jail. Like I think he's in jail now. So I think that's probably the reason why you don't hear more from him. But he's got the talent.
I think you're right. And you bring up a really good point. Like rap is timely, dog. Especially back in the day, man. Like you would drop, and if you ain't come out within the next 5 years, you might as well never have dropped. It actually probably even worse.
Right.
Like you don't drop something in a few years, go away. Go be an actor or some shit. Because people are not checking for you generally.
Especially then too. I mean, that's when everybody was getting dropped. You know, Napster was out, people were stealing music, and labels were consolidating, so cats were getting dropped. And I think that's why we missed out on BG's prime years.
Here's the other thing too. You said it. Cats are stealing music.
Yep.
If you stealing Hot Boys, you don't even realize it's BG a lot of times. You don't see no face. It's just Hot Boys. Shit, I bet you a gang of times they got it mixed up, whole groups mixed up. You know how that shit. Anybody that stole music knows that, bro. Like, I'd have whole fucking albums and it wouldn't even be labeled right.
Right.
But like, I thought such and such did that. Like, nah, bro, you fucked that one off. Like, all right.
Well, yeah, I'm still bumping it. I know the lyrics. I don't know who did it, but it's great.
Real talk. Yeah, BG. Shout out to BG. He should have been on that list.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, that was my joint. BG was a man.
He had some dope album cuts and shit.
Yeah. Cash Money is the Army, the Navy.
Better yet, me. Hey, just have us be quiet, John, or you're gonna like get another call, or
I thought you were deep in thought. All right,
I'm just fucking with you, man. Man, go ahead. Give me a couple more, and then we got 2 calls. We're gonna jump.
All right, let's go with Keith in North Carolina.
Keith,
what's going on, man? Hey, I think T-Pain should have been up on that list. His whole rapper turned singer album, like he was putting on for Florida the whole time. I'm not from Florida, but I live in the South. You feel me? So like it's that whole album, man. He switched it up.
you know what, bro? I think he didn't get love because for better or for worse, he was the one that really got everybody on that auto-tune shit. It was out before that, but when I think of auto-tune, I think of T-Pain. And I think people have a certain they feel a way about it. But they keep doing it though. So like, come on.
He got a whole setup. He got a whole album or two without the auto tune. So I mean, he might have made it jump at that time or whatever. Like you said, it was out before that. He might have made it jump, but still, that's not his only lane. You feel me? He's like multifaceted in the booth.
Oh yeah, but I'm not saying that he's one though. I think people that don't know him that well put him in that category, and that and that diminishes his value or some shit in their eyes. Justin, what's your opinion on it?
I don't think of T-Pain as a rapper. I don't care if he made an album called Rapper Turned Singer. I don't quote his raps. I quote his songs. I think
Why
that
shitting on his world, bro.
I mean, look, T-Pain doesn't need my support, man. He's on top of the world again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I can't knock his impact. But if you're asking me if he's a top 25 Southern rapper, I'm going to say categorically no. Now, if he's a top 25 Southern singer, now we can have a conversation. I'll probably put him at 26, but we can have the conversation.
But here's the interesting thing. He did kind of like, look, Bone got a bunch of blowback back in the day because they thought they was like singing, rapping. We're discussing the top rappers we're discussing the top rappers of down south. Let me just run by for anybody that's just tuning in. Justin brought this on. Phone lines are blowing up. Shout out to Paul. Hold up. Wait. What we got? All right. Number 1, Scarface, Lil Wayne, T.I., Pusha T, J. Cole, Rick Ross, Big Boy, Future, Andre 3000, Project Pat, Pimp C, MJG, 8 Ball, Bun B, CeeLo, Juvenile, Mystical, Ludacris, Gucci, Currency, Big Crit, 2 Chainz, Quavo, Killer Mike, and Pastor Troy. Let's take another one. Hey, Pete, Paul, text me who you like or who you don't like on there. We'll fucking scream it out. Just, is there anybody that you would like definitely take off this list? Even if you're not.
Looking at the list, I would take, and this is going to sound crazy, but I would take Gucci Mane off because everybody else around here is really rapping on this list. And so I don't think of Gucci like that. He's a hit maker, but I don't think of him like that. I would take, Jeezy's not on there, I would take him off too. You know what I mean? I'd probably take Mystical off too because Mystical, his run was so short. And I would add, I'd add Master P because to me, Gucci and Jeezy are so close to Master P that at least Master P has originality.
Here's the one thing I got for Mystical One, Mind of Mystical was nuts, and this was kind of at a time when the South wasn't getting a lot of love, and he had bars, bro. He was really doing it. He was able to like spit and keep that laid back feel. Like I fuck with him, and like I said, he came back late '90s, I think. Did he get locked up and then got locked up again?
He got locked up again. I think it's just like 2, maybe 3 albums he has in there. And don't get me wrong, Mystical could really, really rap. And I was really on that too, because you know me, I'm a big Bone Thugs fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big 3 6 Mafia fan. So there's a whole lot of that style that's in there. But I mean,
yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if I have to take somebody off, those are the 3.
You know what? Real talk, like, I get that, but I just have a fucking connection with him growing up, and that just being banging all over the place, and there I go, and he did end up doing some dope shit with Peace Camp too,
and with Mark Ronson. The Mark Ronson
fuck up,
and the Mark Ronson stuff is dope. He's wildly talented, man. It's really an unfortunate story, but
yeah.
You know.
I mean, Jesus Christ, you get a couple sexual assaults and they don't want to shoot a fucking. You can't even rap.
Hey,
shit, where we live.
Oh god.
All right. 888-742-3345. 888-742-3345.
Mike Jackson, Mississippi.
Mike, go ahead.
Rude or McJuder. Man, I ain't talking top 5 or 10, but somewhere probably around 20, man. I would have liked to see Kevin Gates on there.
I'm not mad at that.
Oh, bro. Yeah, man.
You probably don't listen to Gates. He's a little newer.
No, but like, actually, I kind of agree with old boy, man. Like, I feel like he hit on like on a cultural level that is I wouldn't be upset about him being on there. Like we talked about him for years, bro.
Man, 100%, man. Look, I think that's probably the suggestion I'm most excited about hearing today, because that's a good one. I didn't even think about it. Because I would take Quavo off right now and put Kevin Gates on.
Bro, yo, man.
Quavo be out of here.
Bro, we're sharing the same brain, because I was like, man, I'll boot that motherfucking Migos right now, bro. Like, and put him on, man.
Quavo is like the second, arguably third best Migo. He's not even the best Migo.
Yeah, 2 phones, bro. 2 phones, man. Come on, man.
I like Kevin Gates, though.
Yeah.
And I love his story. Yeah. I love how independent he is, you know.
And like, real talk, man, like, it's hard. Like, Cat's been selling dope since forever. So it is hard to come up with a fucking twist on some shit that cats haven't rapped about that game.
Yeah.
Like, real talk, like, yeah.
That is not easy.
Few and far between, you know.
He's got imagination, man. That's the most important thing. Voice and imagination. Yeah. How do you sound saying the same thing everyone else has said, but in a different way?
And he's one of them dudes that's fucking like, he's like, bro is like, it's cool when you have a real intelligent dude busting about some shit that, like, some real grimy shit. And I think he does that in a way that makes him interesting.
Yeah, he's great at it. He's incredible at it.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I definitely take Quavo off for Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates should be on there.
All right. I'm waiting a sec to see if the boss hits me back before we plan to go place. No, he ain't hit me back yet. All right, we gotta jump. Last one, and then I'll do all the goodbyes and shit. All right. Last one. Here we go.
Got Reggie, Little Rock, Arkansas.
All right, banging Little Rock, Reg.
Hey.
What up, though?
Hey, y'all sleeping on Willie D, Travis Scott, Trick Daddy? Jermaine
Trick,
Free, Yo Gotti, BG, 3-2.
We covered a lot of these.
Mention. I did mention Big Mike. You're right. 3-2 we didn't mention, but I think beside Travis Scott, we already talked about all those dudes.
Oh, okay. But what about Willie D? That's the main one. He was my favorite ghetto boy.
A lot of people say that Cube got his style from Willie D.
Yeah.
Hey man, like Willie D, I fuck with. But the way his tone and his delivery, I love him with the Ghetto Boys, but like solo shit, it's a lot, man. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's why I didn't mention him.
What was the last thing you said?
I said I love him with the Ghetto Boys, but solo shit, he's a lot.
Yeah.
His delivery is kind of a yell rap to me, which is dope to come in on because he brings fucking energy. But 10 tracks of that in a row is, but like I tried and shit, like his later, even his later shit, like the cleanup man. Like, don't get me wrong, I fuck with him. It's just there's a ton of rappers like that for me where I'm like, this motherfucker can spit, but
yeah, but if somebody beat me to BG, I was gonna say BG as well, but
we agreed with you
Trick
too.
Daddy,
and
Daddy got forgotten about.
Yeah,
we talked about him too.
Yeah, we agreed with we actually are agreeing with you on most of that shit. That's the only one. That's why I was like, I thought of him, but that's why I didn't put him.
And then Travis Scott has the accolades. He's got the success. I don't know what it is. I just don't think of him as somebody who's really spitting a lot of times. I understand why he should be on the top 25 because he's one of the most successful artists in the history of the South at this point. I just don't think of him like that.
Man, I'm gonna be real with you. You know me, I don't listen to that. Does he have a super Southern sound or does he have a universal sound?
He's got a Kanye sound, which he brought to Kanye.
Right.
So he doesn't really sound like the South.
And he's like fucking on them LA chicks, so I don't think a lot of people consider him like that.
I didn't even
or some shit, or wasn't he fucking one of them?
Yeah, he's got a baby. He's got almost. I think they're about to have another baby, but they have a family now. But
yeah,
I mean, look, it's crazy,
bro.
He's from Houston, man. I didn't even think about Travis. He didn't even cross my mind when I was looking at this list. I was looking at this list. I'm like, oh, they got spitters on here. Okay, let's see what's up. You know what I mean? I didn't think about Travis Scott at all. But you look at it, you go look at his Wikipedia page. He probably should be on here. He wouldn't make my top 25 list though.
I don't have an opinion on because I'm old and I was listening to fucking strictly old shit by then. I'm a dinosaur.
And one more thing real quick, and I know we're about to bounce, but Lil Baby, I think he's going to be on this list too. Like when I added Moneybagg Yo and I added the Baby, I think Lil Baby's another one of these cats to me. Because Lil Baby's in a crazy zone right now. I haven't seen someone really tear it up the way Lil Baby's been tearing it up. Very few people. And he can rap, you know what I mean? So Lil Baby's another one.
Justin, thank you for sparking off this conversation. It's always good talking hip hop with you. I always feel like I'm learning some shit.
Word up, man. Likewise, man. This was a good one. I had a good time. Follow At The Company Man on everything. Dropping new breakdowns every week. So tap in.
Thanks everybody for calling. And hopefully y'all could, especially if you're from a different area and shit. Thanks to the South for checking in. Cats don't realize how much they were looked over. I don't think they even understand that shit. It's funny that now everybody's looking to the South for a sound. It just goes to show you keep doing you're gonna fucking get that shit. Grind.
That's how it is. It's all happening.
Let's go.